but it might be. Okay, now my mic's actually on. We're making progress, you guys. Apparently we've been live 10 minutes and I don't even know if you can see me. This is why live streams are a hassle. I'm still frozen though. I don't know what to do. Should I stop? I don't want to stop because then it'll break up the stream, right? Stop recording. Do that because I didn't even want this to be recorded. And then stop. No. Curse of the live stream. I look like an alien in that thumbnail. I don't even know if anybody can hear me, but I look like an alien in this thumbnail that I'm seeing right now. I do not want to end the stream, actually. You know what? It might just be me. I honestly have no idea. I could pull it up on my phone, though. That might tell me it's something, I don't know. I have like 10 apps that are just my calculators for cheating on algebra. Because I don't know math and I shouldn't be taking that class, and I just had to scroll past all these to get here. You know what? On my phone I don't even say I'm live. I genuinely don't know. You know? I don't know. You know what? Hi there. You Stu? Do you hear me and see me right now, friend? Oh, I can hear myself. Yo, oh. I just hit my gut. I'm so sorry. That's a start! Exclamation point. Oh, good! So you can. That's awesome. Alright, I have no idea how much it's lagging or if it's up to date. But I think it is. I think I was just doing that thing that I see myself saying. Again, this is the curse of the live stream, but we're going with it. Unrelated, but love the hat. Thank you! It's not mine. I stole it from my boyfriend. Because all my hats are like colorful, and it was a really bad idea because I don't own colorful clothing or ever wear colorful clothing. Like, our wardrobe's all black, so it would have made sense to get something like this, but I have a bright blue one and a bright red one. But I also like it. Thank you guys. You guys are nice. What to talk about? Honestly, like, getting ready for this stream. Okay, getting ready for this stream, I prepared by legitimately watching other people's live streams, and I started to do that, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't treat this like a whole school assignment. Maybe I should just, like, go with the flow and just, like, talk to people. Because, like, I don't know how I expected to pick other things up from seeing other people doing what I was about to do. Like, it's not really gonna help me know what to say, but I just need to feel more prepared, you know? But other than that, preparing for this live stream, all I could think about was the debates. And I was like, no one wants to sit here and watch me talk about politics. Because that's what this whole entire stream would end up being, because once I get started, I don't stop. But I was like, what's something that I can really go off about? And honestly, everything, but especially politics. But that's just too much negativity. Like, there's a lot of drama already going on, like, on Twitter. I don't know where you guys, like, if you're Twitter sphere or other realms, but thank you! I don't know how it happened. I don't know how it happened, honestly. Um, like, I remember when we got, like, to probably, like, 120 and we started getting, like, consistent comments from people and people were, like, actively interacting with our content. We were like, this is, like, awesome. Like, if it could just stay here at this community little bubble forever, that'd be so cool. But now it's at 300 and it's, like, even better. It's, like, just gonna keep improving. This is Leo. I should probably, like, read out the stream things. They said, hi Kairos system, who's out today? Leo. Congratulations for the 300 subs. Thank you. Thank you. Again, everybody's so nice. I love this. I'm like glowing. I have iced coffee. I already drank one of these today, and we drink at least like 3 of them a day. And they're like, my boyfriend works at Starbucks, so he gets like free like packages of that really intense coffee, and he gets like the straight espresso kind. So that's what I brew every morning, and then I like dump some ice in it and like drink them cold throughout the day. So we definitely have a caffeine addiction that we need to like work on. It's not healthy, but I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy to exist on a daily basis. Message retracted. Almost said redacted. I like that word, redact. I don't know why, it just sounds cool. You know my favorite word? Doily. That one also sounds cool. How are we enjoying the new place? It is sick. I don't know. It's really small. It's like, they advertised it as being about 275 square feet. No, they advertised it as being 325. And then my boyfriend measured it out and got 275. So I'm gonna guess it's somewhere around 300. It's extremely, extremely small. It's way smaller than our last apartment. We pay twice as much, more than twice as much. So you know that is what it is. But you pay for the location, I guess, and the better drinking water. The water tastes a lot better here. That's something. But I really like the place overall. Overall, definitely tiny, but that's nice. It's good seeing you too. GB said your content is very good, educational, and adding skills is great. Thank you. Those are my editing skills. Keep up the work. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. That's really nice. I've tried to improve my editing a lot since, like, if you watch that last video we put out, was basically like us like going back and watching that content. I edited that crap too, but there's definitely been a change in like that. And I've like, since I got the opportunity to like at our high school, our last and our senior year, they just chucked us into some elective they needed us to take to like fill our schedule just to have time, and it ended up being a video editing class, and that worked out well for me. I actually really like videography and that sort of thing, so I like being able to edit people's content. It's never like our intention to be educational, because like we're super interested in psychology and we're pursuing a degree in psychology, and that's like our passion in life, but we're not like, we're an undergrad. We're not like a professional. We can only speak from our experiences, and if that does end up being informational for people, that's awesome. But like, we never like go out and we're like, we're gonna educate you, because that just feels a little pretentious. I don't know. But I do, and I'm really happy that people find our content to be like any sort of helpful or informative. That's really awesome. I like doing this. I think it's super cool. And I'm glad that other people in the system agree with that. Because really starting out, it was like me, Devin, and Bodhi really wanted to do this. We're like, this is awesome. But we all had completely different perspectives for what we actually wanted that to look like. Like, Devin was straight just like, I just want to do a gaming channel. And I'm like, how does that relate to DID? And how are you going to explain the fact that, like, you don't have, like, a fully rounded life if you do, like, end up just becoming just a gaming channel and, like, getting into, how are you going to explain this? And he's just like, you know, not my problem, not going to deal with it, whatever. And I'm like, okay, like, that's an idea. Bodhi wanted to do that straight educational sphere, and, like, that's cool for them, but, like, I don't feel like I could do that. I don't feel like I could do what Bodhi does, even if I did, like, take the time to pre-script and research like they do. I don't see it. And I really just wanted to do, like, everyday vlogging, like, more casual than what I've been putting out, even, but, we kind of just decided we're gonna put that together, and then sort of just talked Sterling, and at the time Sophie, but now Esme, because of a fusion in our system, into, like, joining in on the stuff. Esme hasn't put out a video yet. Sophie did record one, but, you know, since the fusion, I didn't even know about it until after they fused that they had recorded it, so I don't think I'm gonna end up editing that and putting it out, because that just requires explaining what fusion is, and then, like, I don't know, maybe it would be a good idea, but I don't want to put out such a topic. But then again, people do the, like, integration and fusion mixing up thing, so maybe it would be good. I don't know. Not yet, though. Kate Brown said, good seeing you guys. It's good seeing you guys, too. This is so much fun. GB, how is New York right now? We live right across the Hudson from New York and New Jersey. Last time we were in New York, the protests are really strong ever since the Breonna Taylor case decision came out. They've been, like, gathering every night, and the NYPD is being the dick that the NYPD loves to be. And it's just been, like the blatant, I don't want to get too much into it, both because, like, there's no need to subject people to negativity that might be personally affected by this, and also, like, it could end up being triggering because it's just general police brutality, but it's just really, that's its own thing. A lot less tourism. That's good. Uh, that's always a plus. But overall, like New York's sick. Like just getting to be in the city and like getting to exist within it is so calming for me personally. And like anytime I'm stressed out right now, I just like walk the 5 minutes down to like sit next to the Hudson and stare at the like New York City skyline at night, and it's so relaxing and so peaceful. I mean, it's just worth living in a shoebox. That's all I'll say. Um, that and like the entire rant I just give. K Brown, our system, we are called Soul Swipe System on Instagram. Yeah, I've seen you guys. I think we follow you. I think. If not, we will. I'll check that now. And we love your content, especially in the aspect of just experiences. We are a newer system in regards to going to therapy and all. I'm gonna look you up. But I'm pretty sure we do. Yeah. Again, like with the experiences thing, it is really like our focus just to like talk about our own experiences, and I'm glad that you like that stuff, and that you find it like any sort of like productive or useful, and not like a waste of time to consume. Yeah, and just like getting more involved in the system sphere, because like we've noticed like just because of like general, I don't know, I think it's becoming more acceptable question mark to open up about these kinds of things, and we're seeing more people on social media talking about it than there was like a while back. And we've never felt like comfortable ourselves just like opening up like we are now, but now that we're doing it and like actually becoming more active, it's just so great to get to connect with like you guys and like so many other systems that we've got to meet. It's amazing. It's amazing. Hi Salma. Salma said, "Hey y'all, I keep forgetting to like read these out. I should really like remind myself of that, and to like stare at the camera. That's another thing. I'm not very good at it." K Brown, and it's really comforting knowing that there are other systems going through similar experiences and helping others see your experiences. That's really good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm really glad to hear it. But like your guys' comments and like one other person who, if I'm not mistaken, my memory's really bad, but if I'm not mistaken, you guys know that other system. Your guys' comments are so like awesome. Like I know we've read so many of yours that are just like that really like touched our heart. So I appreciate the things that you guys like say, and I appreciate that you appreciate our content and that you find that like again like worth consuming. The idea that anybody like thinks that what we have to say is worth like sitting down and watching for the 10 to 20 minutes that we film a video is just mind blowing to me. Um, but yeah, you guys are so fucking supportive, and it's amazing, and I love it. You guys are great. It's amazing. It's amazing. I keep saying that, but I keep forgetting what I'm doing like mid thing. And if I'm like squinting, I can't see. Like we're supposed to wear glasses, but I don't. I don't like how we look in them. So if I'm not like looking at myself, it's fine. But like I got two split screens of me, so it's also so strong. Oh, we did not. That's ridiculous. We do now. We do now. Awesome. All right. I was gonna like pull up the stream on my phone and watch the chat there, but I think I can keep up with it. I think. I'm gonna scroll back and make sure I didn't miss anybody's stuff. Because that sucked. No, I think I got everything. Awesome. I wonder how long I was just like how much of the stream was actually streaming whenever I was just for a good few minutes trying to figure out how to make any of that work. Like, for all I know, it was the entire time. I think, like, after I refreshed it, it started working, so should be alright. I mean, I tried to, like, pretend like I thought it was on even when I did it, so. GB, watched your moving vlog. I can imagine how hard it was to move to New York. Really brave, and really broke my heart. Wow, I read that so wrong. I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic. Like, legitimately, not like a joke. Really broke my heart seeing you cry. But you are brave and strong. I hope you took time to relax after you settled in your flat. Yeah, that entire thing was a mess, and I'm still kind of, like, trying to figure out how I want to process that. It was, like, in so many ways a really eye-opening experience, not just, like, the actual, like, entering a new phase of our life, but having to process everything about, like, relationships in our past and, like, what that means for us, and, like, with people that have been less than, like, probably would consider good for us, but relative to other people have been like, all we've had, so, like, having to figure out, you know, do I forgive or don't I, like, what's most healthy is still something I'm struggling with, but I'm keeping in contact, and, like, everything that happened in that vlog, I'm so glad that we're doing this also for the reason that, like, being able to look back and rewatch, like, entire moments of our life is, like, just, like, amazing, like, I don't know, like, honestly, and especially when you got memory issues, like, the fact that we can see something that happened 2 months ago and be like, oh yeah, like that. Seen this like 10 times now. I remember this. That's me because I watch it like 10 times to edit. But like actually being able to recall things. Either like just talking about like experiences that we've had or like just being able to recall like alters talking to the camera. It is and it has been extremely effective for increasing our communication, and that was one of the reasons that we wanted to start the channel. More so that we could connect with the wider community, because we felt that we've been able to share experiences like to our own satisfaction and our other platforms on like other social medias, but this is like increase it to like an entirely new level where we feel like a lot more personally connected with the community. K Brown said, what's something that you guys enjoy now in your new space? Oh my god. The countertops are beautiful. That counts. Like, they're straight marble and they're way too nice for the apartment. Beautiful countertops. I really like that. And the bathroom's, like, spot on. It's, like, the nicest spot in the entire apartment. And I like that, like, even though it's, like, really small, we've managed to, like, separate. Like, we got the kitchen literally probably 10, that's pushing it, like, 5 feet away from me. Like, it's right there. But we separate it with, like, this counter-like structure that's, like, actually a bookshelf that we fill with, like, pans and stuff. So it kind of feels like 2 separate rooms. We've done a good job of making this space feel a lot bigger than it actually is. Hi, DID Hatchery. We love your content, by the way. It's great to see you guys. Ugh. Tangents. I'm really good at going off on tangents for way too long on irrelevant things. So, like, if I am doing that, hopefully by the time I see your guys' comment, except for the fact that I can't see because I don't have the glasses on, hopefully by the time I see you guys' comment to, like, you know, tell me to stop talking about something that is really, like, kind of out of the blue, like the cabinets. I mean, the marble's really nice. I would, like, start moving the camera around, but I'm worried about messing up the structure here and what I have or have not, like, just sitting out. Like, our full name's probably right there. And, like, also, like, just general letters with our address and stuff. Thank you, guys. DID Hatchery said, oh, thank you. We love your content. Everybody's so nice here. I can't believe I've already been streaming, like, 20 minutes? Feels like it's been, like, 5. I feel like I've talked a lot, but I feel like I've just talked a lot in a really short amount of time. And I have no idea how long I'm gonna be on. We have class later today, but it's not for quite a while. What to talk about? I have no idea. Not politics. Don't talk about politics, whatever you do. Honestly, takeaway from all of that's really simple. Trump wanted the white supremacy vote, so he didn't care to actually say that white supremacy isn't a thing that he supports. That's really all we need to know from all of that. But, you know, I'm sorry. If you're not American, first off, I'm jealous of you, and second off, I really hope you're staying away from all of this negativity, because the fact that this can even exist right now is mind-boggling. I mean, not so much if you've paid attention to, like, just the complete apathy that has kind of come out of this entire situation. But, like, in general. GB said, I like your piercings, or piercing. They look cool. Thanks. I kind of live with them. I don't know that I exactly I definitely went on and got them. Like, shortly after Sterling, started fronting regularly, which was about a year, maybe a year and a half ago now. Without asking anybody, he just took our money and went to the piercing location, the only one in town, and got these done, like, you know, before the whole COVID thing, obviously. And then, you know, there was, like, a whole healing phase where he was like, oh, guys, don't worry, you know, once they're healed, you'll be able to take them out, and then we can just, like, I'll wear them when I'm out, and no one else will have to worry about it. That's not how any of that works. after the healing phase, you know, these things will like heal up if we leave them out for a couple minutes. So everybody just ends up wearing them. I definitely don't like feel like they fit me personally, but the body looks good with them, so I do. And he likes them, so I'm not gonna like take them out. And also the fact that there's 2 holes in her face kind of makes me uncomfortable, so I'd rather they be filled. As of yet unnamed system says, I love that username. I'm not sure if you're a Star Wars fan, but Mark Hamill posted an iconic tweet about last night, and it would be funnier if it wasn't so true. Oh, I don't know. I might have seen it. I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I might have seen it because I was going through like all of the tweets from last night's debate. They will close. Yeah, they close really quickly. Like, I can maybe leave them out for 24 hours before this one starts too, but this one's alright. They're cool. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think so too. Like, they make us look a lot more edgy than a lot of us actually are. Kate Brown says, are you guys going to decorate your place for the fall/Halloween and other seasons? I noticed our caretaker in her world, Catherine, has been decorating her place. I love to. Halloween's one of my favorite seasons. I feel like if I did, like, decorate our outer apartment, it would probably end up being, like, up all year long, because, like, we love Halloween. Or at least, like, through Christmas, because not a big fan of that one. But yeah, like, that'd be awesome. Right now, like, financially, we're a little tight, so I don't know how much we'll actually go out for Halloween. Definitely gonna, like, watch some spooky movies or something, though. That'd be awesome. DID Hatchery said the debate was a nightmare. Yes, it absolutely was. Oh my god, I was just sitting there the entire time screaming at the television. I have this thing, like, I'll either watch, like, live streams and be responding out loud to the people, or, like, watching television and just, like, overreacting over the top just because, like, I can feel it, like, I can let out my emotions. But last night was just pure agitated screaming to everything that would happen. And then, like, I was on TikTok and people were like, oh, drinking game to the debate. Take a shot every time they talk over each other. You wouldn't be alive if you did that. Like, they were talking over each other the entire time. I couldn't make out, like, a single thing that was going on. And both of them are not great conversationalists, so it's just like, are you even on the same topic? And the deflection, the amount of deflection, I'm not supposed to get on this because, like, I just spent the entire stream talking about this, but my brain exploded too. My brain exploded too. It was so bad. It was a disaster. It was a complete disaster. I'm thinking about it too much. Oh my god. You know, I feel like I can make eye contact with people in a conversation better than I can make eye contact with, like, a camera lens. Like, that feels a lot more awkward to me than talking to people. Though that's kind of awkward at times too, but, you know, like, eye contact kind of thing. So I usually just, like, try and be really expressive when I'm talking to people and, like, make an excuse not to, like, have to just, yes, But if it's serious, I can. I don't like to, though. As of yet unnamed system says, my former roommate is a witch. That's awesome. And has a collection of so many things bought around Halloween time because they find it funny. Oh my god, yes. So our apartment was Halloween and gay all the time. That's amazing. I love that so much. Oh my god. I used to, like, you know, be really into, like, witchcraft stuff. My boyfriend got me into it when we first met. And I'm kind of upset I've fallen out of that. It's really good for, like, keeping me, like, grounded in the body and, like, keeping me grounded to reality and to what's going on in life and just feeling like I have some level of control over everything. Because I'm not, like, a very, you know, spiritual or religious person or anything at all. So that was something that I could actually, like, vibe with because I really believe in, like, the energy of everything and interacting, like, energy fields within the universe and, like, how everything is, like, you know, the idea of, like, things being created in proximity having related energy forces to each other. I really, like, vibe with that stuff, so maybe I should get back into that because I love that, and people that dedicate to their craft, amazing. Love them. It'd be amazing to just have, like, gay Halloween stuff everywhere. That sounds great. Kate Brown, are you all into coffee? Maybe we can send some onto a P.O. box. We work at a coffee shop. Oh, yeah, honestly, I think most of us probably are. We got a few people that prefer tea. Weirdos. But yeah, mostly all of us are into coffee. We get most of it free that we have now. I don't know if we honestly need any, because if I opened our freezer right now, there'd probably be like 10 bags, because we have just way too much in stock from when we weren't drinking it as rapidly, so probably should cut down on the coffee, honestly, but I really appreciate that. That's awesome of you guys to ask. I don't see a P.O. box in our near future, but I do like the idea, perhaps one day. It is really awkward looking at the lens. Deity Hatchery agrees. I think I'm delayed. Yeah, there is a... I don't know how much of a delay to the stream, but there's definitely one. I'd say probably by a minute. And that might be because I'm using like a second streaming platform. I have to go through that instead of streaming directly through YouTube. The reason I do that is because it's a lot easier to... we don't like the idea... We definitely don't like the idea of switching in front of people. Even if we know them, like, personally, it's really, like, discomforting and it feels really vulnerable for us. But even, like, dissociating in front of people, if it's, like, a heavy dissociation, not something we're comfortable with. So, the reason we do it through this platform is because we have this little screen that I can put up. I don't know if I can... I think I can show you without, like, you know, making it to where you can't see me. I think Devin posted about it, but, let's see. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So that's what it looks like. And this is kind of like what we can play anytime we just don't want people to watch us, you know, enter the void or to switch or whatever needs to happen. And that made us just a lot more comfortable to feel like we can actually start streaming regularly. Yeah, like, but if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have started doing this at all. Like, that's the thing that took us 2 streams. It took us so long to stream for, I think would be a better way to say that. I'm seeing the like, thing I just showed you now, so I think it's only like maybe a 30-second delay. That's not too bad. GB said, I thought your piercing had something to do with your name, like Leo, lion, and your piercings look like lion teeth. Oh, I like that. I actually used to have these piercings that came with a kit. Sterling technically got them for me, but he didn't mean to because he doesn't like me. But it just came with his set that were like literal lion heads at the end of it, and it just tied on. And I also had like a dice pair, but we ended up losing those when we moved, so that sucks. But I did have some that like actually vibed with me, that I didn't mind wearing as much as these. But these are just like he used to have a set that were both spiky, and like then like ones that were just balls, and then he lost like half of them. So now I just do like the 2 at the bottom are balls and then spikes. That's just because we're poor. DID Hatchery says, totally understandable. That's cool. That is a great idea. It is very vulnerable to switch. I don't know if we could do it live either. Yeah. I mean, it's also just like, it just feels kind of like a little bit disconnect being live in general, kind of a little bit anxiety inducing. So the idea of like then throwing in dissociation on top of that is like, not the greatest idea, not the greatest thing. I don't know if we'd want to subject her. And you can't control what comes in the chat anyway. You can't control what kind of triggers could happen. So, I mean, when we're sitting down and filming, it's a much more controlled environment. I don't see us, like, posting filming, like, switches anyway. But I can see, like, why systems will feel so much more comfortable doing that than, like, live stream. Because who knows what could happen, you know? Yeah. GB says, how did you come up with system name? Sorry if it's personal. I mean, it is personal, but that's an awesome question, honestly. We were looking into something that kind of just felt like it vibed with us at first, and kind of like more mysterious sounding names. So that's kind of how we happened across it. Originally in our headspace, it's a lot different from how it is now. We kind of have like this like island type deal with like a little house on the island, because that's what we've always found to be peaceful. Like when we were a child, we used to like imagine that we were on this island. Because it helped us to like disconnect and feel at peace. And it was also like this guided meditation we listened to when we were really young, that like put you through being in an island. So that's just generally peaceful for us now. But in the past, it was legitimately just a house floating through space. What we think that has to do is like it kept us away from anyone else, and it was kind of like that controlled environment. But like time didn't exist at all. And then why this relates is because like Kairos, it's like a word that means like the opportune moment between 2 periods of time. It's a Greek word. Like there's Kairos, and then there's can't remember the other one, but the one actually means like a quantity of time, while that word means more of like, you know, like an existence between. So that's why we originally picked it, because it attended both to like our headspace at the time and how we kind of viewed our system, because of like, you know, the opportune moment of being able to, you know, I'm trying to force the connection a little bit more here, but the opportune moment of being able to, you know, survive due to the happenstance that we developed a coping mechanism that got us through our childhood. So there's also that of just being lucky, kind of. But more so that whole, like, it just felt like it connected to us aesthetically, and also just, like, the relevance to our headspace and to what gave us calm. That makes sense. I went on a little bit of a tangent there. K Brown, oh my gosh, we are the same. How do you guys cope with dissociation in person? That's something we struggle as well, being more upfront with our partner. They're aware, but everyone feels vulnerable. Yeah, we have the problem with that too. It's gotten a little bit easier with our partner, but even still, if it's like really bad, I mean, they get it because they also deal with dissociation. But if it's really bad, we just have to remove ourselves from the situation, either like going into another room or just like trying to seem like we're not dissociating because we're not really good at opening up when it's happening either. So we might just like, what I do is I'll just scroll through social media, which becomes a problem, especially if he's like talking to me and I won't notice at all that there's anything going on out here, and I'll just be like legitimately not reading anything and just, that's what I do. That's what I do to make it seem like I'm not dissociating, but he's caught on to that by now, so it's kind of counterproductive. When it comes to like friends or something, we've kind of just gotten used to it, and it sounds bad, but like just straight up lying, just being like, oh, I'm not feeling very well, gotta go. Because we don't have that many like really close friends anyway. We have maybe one, but it's just really hard for us to feel like we can connect to other people and to develop that level of trust. So we don't kind of feel obligated to like open up in any way that we don't feel comfortable doing. So if we need to lay down that boundary, we're more than okay just being like, yeah, we're gonna have to go. And if they demand an explanation, we don't feel like we really need to give them the explanation that feels so vulnerable for us. I'm not gonna be like, I'm literally removed from my body and I can't focus on anything going on around me, and I really just can't be in this situation right now, so I'm just gonna peace out. Like, I'd rather be like, got a little stomach ache. And then Kate Brown says, and nerve-wracking stating who's out. That's true, yeah. And did that happen to you guys in the beginning when you let your partner know about your DID? Yes, absolutely. We're pretty overt as a system. Like, we act very different, and like we also have like typing quirks, and that's significant because when we first we met our partner in person, and then we were long distance for a while, and then we came like back together. So we were like texting back and forth for a while, and we have between like the people in our system that front the most really distinct like typing habits, because we kind of like, we're just an internet kid. We kind of just grew up with that. It's like we were always like online or TV or reading or various things. So different ones of us like kind of developed like a different way of relating to like how we text, how we talk, how we type, and all that stuff. And also just like the variety. I don't know why I just tried to like wipe away the audio happening over here. I'm just like, stop, sirens, stop. But now I don't remember what I'm talking about. Yeah, there's also just like the fact that we experienced so many diverse like traumas growing up, so that caused us to develop differently. But it was kind of always obvious to them because they knew about our DID, but we wanted them to ignore it like everybody else did that knew about our DID, and that's what we expected from them. So we never say, oh, hey, this person's out, that person's out, but they knew, and they just kind of had to like exist and pretend like they didn't know. And it created a lot of awkward situations, both for us, because we're not the kind of person that's just like, we're going to have the same relationship and pretend like we have the same relationship with everybody. Like, some people were like, lovey-dovey, and other people were like, we're bros, and other people were like, I'm not socializing ever. And that's all valid, and they really understood and just kind of let us come at it with our own pace. So we're just really fortunate that we have such an understanding partners that are like, partner that is able to see where we're coming from with all of this, if that makes sense. As of yet, Unnamed System says, piercings are lovely and cost so much. True. Which is how we ended up with 4 in the same year at one time, since it was a sale. That's true. Sterling wants to get so many more, and he knows that, if he has to do it at once, because once he goes for it once, we're going to start taking precautions. But he's been talking, like, I want to get this done, I want to get that done. And I'm like, okay, I'm alright with the idea of us getting, like, one more to even out these, because I feel like having just these kinds of piercings on our face is kind of weird and distracting. So I'd like to get something, maybe a nose or something, or, I don't know, just to even it out. Like, honestly, I'd be cool just having, like, a stud, and I wouldn't wear these, and I just have my stud in when I'm out. That'd be awesome. But, like, if I let him go into a piercing shop, he'd definitely come out with, like, 4 or 5 new ones. And, like, I don't want to have to heal through that. Like, no thank you. Oh, that's such a cool system. Thank you, guys. Mimi says, hey, guys, congrats on 300. Hi, Mimi, and thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. 300 is just a tiny bit overwhelming, but it's still like, it's still the type of community that we really like. Like, we get a lot of feedback from you guys, and we get a lot of comments on our videos, and we feel like we can, like, we recognize people that have commented, and we can feel like we can relate to those people, especially when they open up to us about their own experiences when we talk about ours, which is really, like, kind of the goal here, like, getting to connect with people on that grounds of, like, sharing our stories and hearing other people's. So, like, when we get to do that, it feels so much more, like, close-knit, because, like, you know, you can make a Tumblr post, you can make an Instagram post, you can make a Twitter post, you can be on Discord, but, like, it's so different to be able to sit here and talk and express, like, with emotion how things make us feel. And then it's also so much more helpful going back and watching that than it would ever be, like, reading a post and trying to get the sense of what that part or what that, you know, you yourself was feeling when you made that, you know? Like, it's so much more real, it feels, and more, like, personal. As of yet unnamed system, we have a list of piercings to get eventually. That's probably going to be the stage that we get at someday. Hopefully not. Like, I don't know. I don't like piercings so much because just, like, the piercings, when they're in, fine, they look cool. Especially with, like, I just feel like they fit our aesthetic and the body really well. But, like, when they're not in, there's holes. There's just, like, 2 holes in my face. Like, holes that aren't originally in my face. Like, separate holes. And I'm like, that makes me really uncomfortable. Like, I just got, like, a muscle ting. That was not fun. now I'm just thinking about that feeling. What was I talking about? I don't know. Piercings. Holes. Holes make me uncomfortable. I don't want holes in my skin, and just knowing that they're there. Don't like. What time is it? I have to watch because, like, I think we still got, like, an hour. Yeah, we still got, like, an hour until class, but we do have class later. Like, a Zoom thing. For a class that we shouldn't even be taking, like, they just shove us in. Everybody there's a business major, and we're a psychology major. And it's literally just, like, an intro to business research class, and they just threw us in. They literally just, there's no need. And we didn't get to make our schedule this year. The school did, so. It's awesome. I love it. I really love it. Mimi says it's really wild knowing you from Twitter and the gap between sensing the tone there and then seeing it here, to be frank. I know, that's what I'm saying. It's so amazing to be able to, like, actually show things, like, in person. Because it's, I don't know, you can never portray that. Unless I, like, started making tiny clips of, like, reactions to things on Twitter. I could never portray that. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm definitely a lot more, like, happy. Question mark? I don't know, just because I'm energetic doesn't mean I'm happy. That's the tea on that. But I'm definitely a lot more energetic than I would usually be feeling when I make, like, Twitter posts. I'm usually, like, just engaging in discourse or drama when I'm on there or something. But, yeah, I really like being able to just, like, feel like I'm connecting a lot more. And this live's awesome, because, like, even if it's just videos, I don't feel like I can actually connect. I mean, my videos are literally just, like, I bullet point what I want to say, but I don't feel like I can actually, like, because it's all going to be about a certain topic, and I have to, like, keep it relevant. And this I can just kind of, like, go off, and it just feels a lot more like friends hanging out, you know? Business is the worst, says D.I.D. Hetry. Ugh, business is the worst. Ugh, it just feels so irrelevant to anything I'm ever going to be doing. Like, we're learning, like, how to use, like, different business research to look at fucking people's stocks and, like, compare, like, Twitter to Facebook. I don't need that. I really do. I will never need that. Like, we want one day to teach psychology, want to be a professor. When will I be like, now let's look at Twitter, because there's some psychology going on there. I mean, honestly, maybe, but do you guys have an inner world, says GB? We do. Our inner world, I call it probably more of a headspace, is an island, a rainforest island, a house on the shore of a rainforest island. That's kind of like the public headspace. And then as you enter the actual rainforest island, it's sort of more of a dormancy, sort of disconnect area. Like, if somebody's in the house, in the, like, lower area of the house, anybody can, like, that has good communication, can, like, find them. If they're upstairs, they're more closed off, which is kind of just our brain's way of processing our levels of co-consciousness. And if they're out, like, far into the forest, there's a low chance that we'll be seeing them anytime recently or soon. And then there's certain areas of the headspace, like I have a closet. I like, kind of gatekeep a lot of our trauma and a lot of our information. I know a lot of the general facts. I keep this closet where a lot of that's sort of blocked behind. A lot of people don't know that it's even there, but I have full access to, like, entering and exiting that closet. Like, for example, that's one area that only I and one other part are able to access at all, or even regularly, or even know that it exists. I think some other people do, but then as soon as they find out, it'll like leave their mind, or they'll forget, or it'll just like happen that they won't know anymore. So our brain just generally doesn't want other people to realize that that's something that exists, I guess. Um, DID Hatchery follow-up. If you have an inner world, were you always aware of it? Yeah, on some stands, I would say it's always changed. Like, when we were really young, it was sort of like, I don't know if it's something that naturally occurred because we would listen going to sleep and like to calm down and different things. It was something that like one of our parents introduced to us, but we listened to like this guided meditation of this man that legitimately, it was just like he was walking you through entering your headspace, like calming your anxiety and being more mindful. And it was this island. You're supposed to be walking alone on a shore. There's no one around you. No one can, no, he like says once in the audio clip, he's like, you look behind you and you see that there's no one's footprints there but your own, and you realize that you're completely alone and safe. I don't know, I just got chills like recalling that. But I think that's really where like that aspect of what our headspace is now started. But when I've kind of like had some level of awareness of my separateness from other people, but when that kind of became a general system fact in like early 2016, our headspace, because we were still in an like abusive home environment, was, that floating, the exact same house we have now, but like just floating through space. And again, I think that was like some of that level of like secludedness, but it wasn't supposed to feel safe because like space to us has kind of always had this like unknown like scariness about it. So I think that's kind of supposed to represent like trying to stay secluded, but not exactly feeling like we were in that safe environment. And then as soon as we left that home, our island crashed into a house. Our house crashed into the island. And now it is how it is now. So we haven't exactly always been aware of the exact headspace, and it hasn't always remained the same. But to some degree, we've always had some sort of inner world or headspace-like area, I guess. And then they said, because we were not aware of ours until recently, it unfolded in us like a suitcase and suddenly just was. That's super valid. I've heard a lot of stories of just like, it's there. It's there and you didn't even know. And you go in and it's like, how is it so developed? And it's already like, okay, this is a thing now. I've heard that from a lot of systems for sure. It was always like, I didn't read that, but yeah. I just wasn't aware of it as host, just to clarify. Yeah, for sure. No, I've heard that consistently, yeah. No, our host wasn't always aware of that either, and I think even when it was used as like an exercise, there was no awareness that there was any sort of communication or consciousness there. I honestly couldn't say either way if there was, because like when it came to very early communication, it kind of just felt like, I don't think we had the levels. I don't think we had communication, period. It was kind of just felt like blackness and interchanging and some level of communication for others. I feel like I'm so behind on comments, I don't even know where we are. I'm going to try and ramble a little bit less. GB, so it's like Robinson Crusoe's island when he was stranded there. Caruso, I think. I don't think I know your reference, unless the only thing I can think of is like that one stranded movie where the guy talks to the beach ball Wilson. Unless that's that. I don't know, but I'm not good at pop culture references, so if it is a pop culture reference, I'm sorry. Unless it's like Disney, because we grew up on that shit, unfortunately. K Brown says, at DID Hatchery, same here. I don't know if I should read this, let me skim it first. Yeah, they're talking about that they also had a similar experience of, like, becoming aware of the headspace. So yeah, like, super valid. I think a lot of people have done things like that. People are exchanging contacts. Awesome. Yeah, everybody go check out DID Hatchery because they're awesome. And their channel is awesome. If you haven't seen their content, it's awesome. So you should. I love how, like, real you guys are. I love how upfront you are. You just there sharing your experiences and, telling it how it is for you. And that's so respectable. I mean, there are a lot of people that are just there to, like, kind of be like, this is DID. And I feel like you're legitimately just like, this is my life and it is what this is, and that's it. And people can really relate to that, so mad respect. That makes sense. That's how I feel. It's like a glimpse of what a room looks like. DID Hatchery says you're so sweet. I'm glad. I come off that way at times. I don't know, I feel a little bit like I can't really commentate on this because while I do like kind of front the most in our daily life right now, I never considered myself like the host at all. Like at first I saw myself more of a primary protector, now I just kind of see myself as like a manager to the system. And I've kind of always had the most levels of communication and the most awareness of our past and our awareness of what's going on within the system. So when it comes to me and like my knowledge of everything, even if I'm not impacted by it, I probably have some level of awareness, which is what I thought, until we had a flashback last week of a new trauma memory, and that's kind of been something that we're still working on processing, and that threw me for a loop because I really thought I knew everything, and it's not like I didn't know that subject matter, but it was that specific instance, that specific memory being resurfaced, so I definitely still have stuff I don't have access to for sure, but or just generally maybe nobody does, and maybe it just resurfaced. Maybe it was it was always in some level of consciousness, even if it isn't secluded to one part. Again, rambling, but GB says, yes, that's that. Okay. Robinson Caruso, I think. I really don't want to be butchering anybody's name. Even if it's like a fictional character, I don't, because I probably somebody's actual last name. Robinson Caruso. He was stranded in the island, described like yours, built a hut and lived there for years. We've definitely seen that. If not like in clips, then like we probably like actually sat down and watched that. Definitely seen that. I feel like it was a later development. But yeah, I honestly, if I had to guess, I want to say it's like Tony Robinson, but I can't remember a single like freaking like audio clip from one of his things, and I think he was just like that motivational speaker. We listen to a lot of those types of things. Like, our less harmful parent raised us on like 48 laws of power and like master key system and, you know, guided and it was just like very like power of the law of attraction and like, you know, power, influence, and leverage in situations. And it's just, there are a lot of parts that are definitely really defined by that stuff, but just nowadays it makes me very uncomfortable because the way that he used it was very unhealthy. And I realized like manifesting like stuff in life super valid, and like it's like the whole like that energy stuff, and like how I was commenting on the craft earlier, that's like kind of what that's about, is like, you know, putting what you want out into the world. But it's kind of like when you use it for toxic methods, it becomes like so now it's just like, but like it might have been Tony Robinson. Again, my tangents. It might have been Tony Robinson. It might have been some other random guy that just made an audio clip and isn't even a well-known thing, but I want to find it someday because it'd be interesting to compare that to like how our system is, or even like to go back and watch the Wilson thing. I don't know, I really don't, Stranded maybe. The Wilson thing, I think it is Stranded. The Wilson movie that we were talking about, go back and watch that and see if that relates to our system. I really wish I knew like all of what's influenced us. Like I'm kind of a person that feels like I have to have all of the little facts. Let me know if I'm talking too fast. I have a tendency to talk too fast. You guys are so nice to each other and as a community, and it's great, and I love this, and it's like I jump from back and forth of being like everybody here is amazing and so nice and the best people and understanding and sympathetic, and then you'll have like drama that blows up like what's been blowing up on Twitter, and then you're like, this community is awful. But like when it comes to like people like this and just like everybody vibing together and sharing their experiences, it's like, where would you find something like this where you can just really feel like you relate to somebody, or like you can really see like you in them or them in you or whatever. Like it's amazing. It's amazing. K Brown says Nadia in our system is similar into vibes and all. It's really interesting how everyone has their own way of coping within the system. Oh yeah, for sure. Like we have some people that are like not touching that spiritual stuff, not touching the vibe, no energy for me, no religion for me. We have people that strongly identify with one religion, and other people that are just can't even like say the word religion, because we do have religious trauma in our background. So for me, I've never been able to buy. I've really wanted to, like my entire life, wanting to buy into the idea of a deity, but I've just never been able to. But like the idea of like the energies and the vibes, that's for me. That's where it's at. Like I can really get behind that, and that's something that does really give me that like ability to cope. As of yet unnamed system. I've been trying to put together our life timeline, so I feel you on trying to figure out what influenced what / who. Yeah, we made the decision not too long ago to, because we were getting ready to go into an intake therapy appointment, which ended up being a dog and pony show of like all of our trauma, and ended up triggering us and resulting in the flashback before the last flashback where we got a new memory, which affected us for a couple weeks. But we were legitimately trying to like do that whole like trauma timeline thing where you write out your whole, and we've refused to do that up until this point, but we still have that Google Doc just sitting in our folder. It has not been open since the last time we edited it, and I never want to see it again. And I feel like having all of that out on paper was not something we were ready for. But I still like, even when it's not healthy, I have to know. Like, even if I'm not ready, I feel like I need to have an awareness. Maybe it has to do with my role. Maybe it's just like human nature. I don't know, but I got to. Mimi says, this community can be very wholesome at times. I wouldn't have really accepted being DID if it weren't for the people here. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, I feel that. I mean, it definitely has its faults, but when it comes to the people, when it comes to some of the people at least, it's like, if it weren't for y'all, I wouldn't accept it. I wouldn't allow it. I would refuse any sign of it. And beyond that, I wouldn't have like the level of education or like, and like, we want to base our entire like career around like studying trauma and the effects that it has on people, both to understand ourselves and to help others. And if we hadn't become aware of our own self and been open to that, we wouldn't have discovered what we wanted to deal with like our entire life. Probably wouldn't have started to heal. And it's just like, I could go on and on about like what wouldn't have happened if we hadn't have found this community. So we have so much to be like thankful for and to want to give back when it comes to interacting with the DID community. But then it comes to like that drama, and it's like, and it's to be expected when you put like a group of trauma survivors together that all have varying perspectives and varying really strong reasons of believing what they do. It's like, I mean, you're gonna have that, but I don't know. Sometimes it can be a lot. Sometimes it gets like counterproductive to feeling like we're almost at the point now, at least taking a break from Twitter because of everything that's going on, and how like it just feels like it's kind of against the point. Like, it's great to be able to share, but we can share somewhere else. There might be time to put down the Twitter for at least like a week or so and just like clear mind, because it gets toxic fast. Scrolling up, because I'm very slow at this, I'm going to try and reply a little bit faster. As of yet, unnamed system, intakes are the worst. God, yeah, it was bad. It was bad, and it's especially bad because it was like a triage appointment of just like trying to get assessed. So I was out and I was trying to just be as upfront as possible, because if I was like, if I tell them, you know, everything they need to know, everything they ask me, everything they want to know, if I just be as upfront as possible and give them all the details and just really dig in on myself, then they'll give me somebody that really works for me, right? Like, they'll match me with somebody who can really help us. She could have researched beforehand that her clinic isn't able to see people right now in New Jersey because the only licensed New Jersey clinician, the only license, which why take the triage appointment if there's only one? Because she didn't research beforehand, that's why. I mean, she's like an intern. She doesn't even have a psychology license, so I don't know what I was thinking opening up to her, but I really just wanted help, so I did. But she ended up just basically saying nobody can help us, and it was a waste of our time. So it just kind of felt like, why did I do all of that? Why did I put myself through that? And by the time I got that response, we had already had the flashback response. I think it was like a night or two after that happened. So it had already started to evoke things, and just hearing that, you know, not only did you just kick up old, really deeply ingrained trauma, but now you got nobody to help you through it. So good luck with that. It was awful. It was awful. And it kind of like, we've had a lot of bad experiences with psychologists in the past, but like that just kind of broke our trust with them. And it was like kind of a last straw. And I'm like, I really want to keep pursuing. And we've made contact with some other like, you know, New Jersey based offices since then that have not contacted us back. And I'm not really feeling like actively pursuing it after that. I at least need the time to just step back and heal. Let me try and like get caught up now, because I keep going off. DID Hatchery replying to me. So, wow, I'm behind. It's good to know it's a scary disorder. Community is so necessary. It really is. Community is such an important part of healing. I think like Bodhi made a whole video about like the importance of connecting and sharing experiences and being able to have a voice for once and how important that is to healing, and you get so much of that in community, and I feel like people that just straight up trash on it do not understand how healthy and beneficial it can be to really just relate. GB said, you don't have to answer if too personal, but when did you start to be aware that the others are there? And when did your systems realize that they are a system? I would say the point that I personally, like, as my own part, started to realize that there was a, like, strong separation of consciousness is probably, like, early to mid-elementary school. Like, I have clear memories of existing and fronting and just being like, this isn't my life. This is not what I'm here for. I'm here to act temporarily as though this is my front, but I'm not, this isn't it. This isn't it for me. Or just like, generally just existing in a way that other people would commentate on as being really separate and just being aware of that separatism. I'm not sure how aware I was at that point that there are others, but I just knew that this wasn't for me. So I feel like in that field I must have had some awareness that because it's not for me, it has to be for someone else. There's something I want to say that's relevant to this, but it has a potential to be triggering, so I'm not going to mention it, but we had one of our parents that would be, like, would strengthen these associative barriers through one of the barriers. That's the New Jersey influence coming out. They would strengthen these barriers through some of their, like, influence, so, like, some of the abuse would, and not just, like, through causing dissociation, I mean, like, semi-programming language that would enforce the idea that this life isn't my own. So that probably also played a big role in this. And then the other part of the question, when did your system realize that they are a system? It's probably like subtly different for everyone, but I'd say the majority happened in early 2016 when we were diagnosed. That was when the host at the time, which is Oliver, that's also the body's name, but he's since integrated. I think if you watch the last video, you'd know Bodhi is now the integrated part that used to be our previous host, Oliver, who doesn't front now as much as Ollie used to. But Ollie used to be like, like actually identified with this life. We don't now have somebody that identifies as being the host and identifies as, this is my life, but he was at the time. And I'd say probably when he became aware was when most of the system did. If people weren't, at least gradually after, became a system of connecting with people. I kind of made it a point to try and connect with those that I was aware at that point. Once the host became aware, I kind of tried to make it a point of, like, connecting everybody in the system and being like, oh, did you know that this part and this part and this part and this part and this part? Because that's what we needed. We needed to increase communication because, again, when we became aware, we were still in a negative environment. We were still in an abusive environment. So we needed to have some level of communication so that we could. And we were at a point, also, sorry, I got distracted. We were at a point also where at the same time that we were in an abusive environment, the most abusive figure was, like, on their way out. Like, we were, not us, but, like, the body's other parent was in the process of getting, like, that other person removed from the situation. So I think that's really what started to, like, kick up our symptoms, is the idea. For some, like, we had one persecutor part that started to lash out actively as soon as the idea of the person they were meant to protect leaving the situation came into, like, fruition. Like, as soon as that was an idea, they started to lash out a lot more. I think that was one of the things that kicked it off for the host the most. Other than me, me also coming out and being very blatantly myself to both our partner and our father, who, I wasn't supposed to say that, and our other parent, who were both, like, active in us becoming aware, so. Yeah, then, I don't know, I tangent too much, you guys, I'm really sorry, I'm so behind. Okay, speed round. We want to go back to school for psychology and trauma as well, says D.I.D. Hatchery. Do it! It's so great. We love it. K. Brown, I 100% agree. Yeah, Mimi, this community is definitely wholesome, so necessary. Mimi is talking to D.I.D. Hatchery, scared him specifically, I guess. I don't want to, like, read anybody's super personal, like, conversations out loud if you don't want it to be. I was embarrassed of it until I found out that there's more from anything. Absolutely, like, just knowing that you're not the only one is essential. And, like, knowing that there's no shame in it. Like, being able to break down that shame that stops you from speaking out about it, that stops you from healing, is, like, monumental. Like, how are you supposed to start, like, accepting yourself if you can't find in others acceptance for who you are? I mean, it's kind of like it sets a standard that, like, you're not allowed to exist. Like, just plain out, like, or just, like, how we're portrayed in media, that you're just how you exist is just straight up wrong and dangerous for other people. Like, being able to break that down by seeing this person exists and they're, like, healthy and fine, and so can I, like, it means so much. I mean, at least to us, and I know other people feel that way too. Felt the same. And to this day, I feel embarrassed, still trying to learn and process. Totally relate. That's part of the song. DID Hatchery is saying it's nothing to be embarrassed about, referring to like DID as a whole. People who make fun are the real embarrassments. Oh my god, yes. Like, can I get that on a t-shirt? That is exactly the point. Like, there is nothing wrong with having a disorder. What's wrong is if you want to stigmatize having a disorder. Like, flip the roles, guys. Flip the roles. Well, that sounds like a horrible experience all around. Yeah, you're probably referring to, like, the intake appointment. It was all bad. There was nothing great that came out of that. Trying to change it, though. Kind of forgetting, like, what these are in reply to at this point, because I went off too much. I did not know that would create a free... That's not a freaky emoji. It's kind of cute. I mean, the buck teeth, like, thing, it's not even buck, because it's just, like, one tooth. It's kind of funky, but, like, I think it's cute. DID psychologists and psychiatrists are going to have to catch up. Yes, especially psychiatrists, because, you know, if they can't make money off of it, they don't care. Like, what? Why would they validate something as being real that doesn't monetarily benefit them? Like, I personally found that psychologists are a lot more open to the idea of DID existing than psychiatrists are. Because psychiatrists are just like, I'm only in it for the Medicaid. Like, only Medicaid, no help. Sorry. Not that medication can't be help. Like, of course, like, medication is so life-saving for some people, but, like, like, Big Pharma does exist. Unfortunately, there is a lot of people that are just like, throw a pill at them. Therapy who? And that's not, like, you need both. Most people need both, or, you know, what have it. I mean, everybody's different, but, just speaking from experience, of course, never, like, trying to be like, if you don't agree with us, you're wrong, or anything. Like, that's just how we feel about it. K. Brown says they really do need to catch up and start looking into that more, because I feel the more that they do, I'm sorry, I'm like butchering your comment. I feel that the more that they do, the better they can really help systems. That's so true. DID Hatchery agrees. Exactly. That's what I keep saying. They can't make money. That's why it doesn't exist. Yes, exactly. It's all like a fucking money grab game. Who cares about helping chronically complex trauma survivors from actually, like, getting over the things that are, you know, negatively impacting their life? It only really matters if it makes the big bucks. I mean, the economy, we saw that in the debate last night from Trump consistently. It only matters if it helps the economy. We don't care about people here. I feel like some countries are probably a lot better about it, but I don't have experience with them, so I'm pretty negative because I'm an American, but it's just kind of how the system set us up. Psychiatrists are extremely close-minded, yes. DID Hatchery, they are often med students that failed their other internships, and they're so desperate to be considered real medical doctors. Roast them! Yes, absolutely, I so agree. It's like, I don't know, it just sucks, the idea that there's so many people who hold so much weight on other people's lives that skated by to get there. And not only skated by, but just no empathy, no compassion, and no care, and they're just like, well, I deserve to be here, frankly. That's just what it is, and it's like, no. Go away, you're not helping anyone. I mean, I'm sure somebody gets some kick out of something you do. For me personally, you're just, like, enforcing already, like, instated stigmas that society loves to place on me that I just don't need in my life. So if you could just butt out. Like, if you can't make money off of it, fine, but why you gotta commentate? Oh, I mean, I'm not surprised, but it still hurts. Don't go into psychiatry if that is not what you want to do. Exactly. Your focus should be in, like, helping people. Like, helping people with their mental health. It shouldn't be your side job. It shouldn't be, like, your plan C. Like, the roast is real, so true. The roast is strong with this one. If you wanted to be a surgeon, don't be a psychiatrist. You know, it really shouldn't go without saying. You really would think, but we can't have common sense. Not in our America. My favorite, as of yet, unnamed system says, I still love that username. My favorite is the psychiatrists who get mad when you have any knowledge of treatment/medicine. Yes. Yes, absolutely. I feel like I'm just, like, getting way too pumped here, but oh my god. Like, there's no reason to take offense to somebody becoming aware of their own existence. I mean, be that with psychiatry or psychology, like, somebody showing that something actively affecting them is important enough that they do their own extensive research into something to further their own healing, especially if they've, been stuck with dealing with this by themselves for so long. That shouldn't be a red flag. That should be a sign that the person wants to get better and isn't there for attention seeking or whatever, they want to blame it on. Calming down now. God. We love the psychiatry system in here. It is a great time. That's why we're forced to do. That's what we're forced to do because of how they treat us. Exactly. They literally create the system that they say is, just supporting the fakeness. Like, they first are like, oh, you guys aren't real. And then we're like, oh, shit, I guess if you're gonna say that, we have to help ourselves then. And we start to help it. And then they're like, yeah, you just proved our point there. See, like, the fact that you want to even, get better, that's the facts we need. Fake. All of you fake. And I'm like, it should show them that we want to actively seek help. We're just people. Like, that's all it is. And I honestly don't see how anybody, like, psychiatrists or not, could sit here and deny it at this point. Like, to me, there's more than enough evidence. But, not more than enough money. As of yet, unnamed system, I have a biology degree and know how meds work. They really don't like that one. I can imagine. Oh my god. Ugh. It's like you don't know everything. You realize that? Like, I don't care how long you've been in psychiatry, you've been in medicine, you don't. Especially if that, like, oh my god. And then, like, the stigma, of course, gets worse the more minorities you belong to. Be that if you're a woman, if you're a person of color, what have you, if you, or gay or trans, if you go in and you're like, actually, I have experience with this medication. I've been on this medication. It didn't work for me. You can check my record. They're like, no, I know. You don't know. I know. You see, doctor? You see doctor right here? Like, I know. You just simmer down and, oh my god. Like, the world would do so much better with just a sprinkle of compassion, a sprinkle of understanding. Like, it's not that hard. Daddy Hatchery, I have to teach society about my disorder because they won't recognize and treat my disorder properly. So frustrating. Yes. And I personally think we have VPD also. We have stigmatized mental illness out the wazoo. I personally think DID gets it the worst because not only is it reinforced by every single member of society and by popularized media, but even our own fucking doctors don't want to accept that we exist, or if they do, they're like, don't let them get close to each other, though. We can't have group therapy sessions, because that's dangerous. And of course, there are people that do, but it's just the idea that being with others who experience having that level of community reinforces any level of dissociation is wild to me. Like, I cannot tell you how much better we've gotten with communication since joining the community, since getting coping mechanisms, learning tips. It hasn't been like, we've seen so many therapists, psychologists that have broken us down and broken our trust in both ourselves and the medical system, and so many people have built that up outside of their systems in the community with their own positive experiences or sharing with us things that have helped them, and it gives us a little bit of hope. And it's like, if you really think that I need to avoid all that, you're setting me up for failure, and they don't care. Because, they're right. Okay, I will calm down now. I don't know if I'll be able to, Hatchery. I wanna join you there, but I'm worked up now. Okay, Brown, seriously, it's pretty painful. Sprinkle that compassion and understanding. Sprinkle it hard. Dump it in. Rip off the fucking cap and just pour it right in. I feel like it's decreasing. It's a steady downcline. Decline would be a closer word. DID Hatchery. Oh, don't tell anyone you have BPD2. Oh, they might say you're attention seeking. That's why you claim to have DID. Oh my god. Yes. The freaking, like, the amount of... Simmering. The amount of people that are comorbid with DID and BPD, freaking overwhelming. But if you have both, you're fake. Both of them, probably. You're probably just like, wild off. You're just attention seeking. I love that people claim that if you have BPD, it's simply attention seeking behavior. That's all it is. There's nothing else to it. That's just the whole ass disorder. It's like, I don't tell anyone I have BPD. Like, we've recently decided to open up about it online because of the stigma. Because we feel like, especially associating that with DID, it's just so heavy. And it should not be because, again, of the high comorbidity. So we're just now kind of like forcing ourselves to get out of our shell, but trust me, it's nothing I want attention for, because it's all negative attention. Especially right now, nobody wants to, like, I feel like DID stigma's starting just at the beginning of getting broken down, but BPD's like, it's not there yet. I still believe the DID stigma is like some of the worst, if not the worst stigma with mental illness associated with mental illness because of like the provisions that keep us from actually healing and getting better. But, you know, like, it seems like there's hope right now. A little bit, at least to me. It's more than I can say for some other disorders. Yeah, it's alright. I see K Brown. I also have to read GB's comment, but K Brown says, I think we're pumping up Leo for class. Yeah, a little bit, but it's alright. It's just a Zoom call, and it's mostly just the teacher trying to get people to talk while everybody probably plays on their phones with their cameras off, so it shouldn't be a problem. JB's replying to the DID hatchery. I'm a single like, you know, but typical. But I'm here to learn and hear your voices before knowing this awesome community. My knowledge about DID was limited. Absolutely. And I feel like because of just the associations, like, you're going to get the most accurate information trying to understand from firsthand people who have the disorder than you would trying to get it out of a textbook. Because, I mean, just because of the spectrum that is DID experience, there's so many different ways it can present itself, but also just, like, the lack of research. And again, I'm someone who believes there's significant research that more than proves that it definitely exists, but it is not where it should be. Day by day, I'm getting more educated. You are all so brave. Thank you, DB. The fact that you're here, like, trying to learn more, it gives me a lot of hope for other people, for, like, the state of society in the future. Because it's just, like, experience after experience kind of teaches us that people don't care and they don't want to hear it. And if you bring it up, you know, attention-seeking, even though it's, like, all the attention, even with DID, I mean, there's now, it's either romanticized or attention-seeking negative behaviors that lead to you getting fake blamed or whatever. It's, like, it's still pretty bad. It's still pretty bad, in my opinion, but it seems like there's a chance for change at the moment. In some ways, and for example, you, and we appreciate it, personally. As of yet, unnamed system, I tell very few people I have BPD. Same. The only person who knows is, again, the same people that know that we have DID. Actually, no, our best friend also knows we have, no, our best friend knows we have BPD. Okay, the same 3 people know that we have DID and BPD. No one else, I mean, online if you count that, but yeah, it's like, not something I'm trying to share. Not something I at all, you know. Like, honestly, sometimes if I could redact it from the people's memories that do know, I would. It's not something that I feel like would be, I feel like at times would be more manageable if I didn't have to, you know, give it to other people on a platter, so to speak. At least when it comes to DID. Like, I feel like there's times when, like, with my boyfriend, with him knowing always who's out, because he's really good at doing that, kind of reinforces dissociative barriers, or, like, him knowing that I have BPD kind of gets him hinting that something might be an emotional irregularity, even when it's kind of just, like, you know, a rational, typical response, which can affect how he responds to me. So I feel like there's still stigma even to the people that understand you the most. And at times, I just want to take that information right back and be like, this is mine. No, thank you. You can have it. But, like, it's, in the long run, so much more helpful to have people in my support system that understand. And that's going to be much more important in the future, to me, personally. So, starting to open up more, especially about, like, with BPD, we still personally stigmatize it in our own selves, so it's hard to own it like we have started to do, or are kind of accomplishing doing with our DID. I don't know if we'll be there for a long time with that one. GB says DID Hatchery, you are awesome. We so appreciate singlets we do who are willing to listen. Absolutely. You are such an important part of our community, so thank you. 120,000% I agree. Absolutely. We have been diagnosed with BPD our whole life. BPD, I don't want to say that because I don't want to be super negative, but I don't know, like, at times it can feel like, not necessarily like a death sentence, but just like, it feels like this is the response you're gonna have for a really long time, because that's just how your brain's structured, and you just gotta deal with it. And it can feel hopeless. That's what I'm getting at. It can feel like, I don't know if this is ever going to be something that I'll be able to restructure in myself. And I don't know. Whenever you have like resources and help, I feel like this sort of thing might not apply. Like personally, we've been kind of like chucked in and stripped right back out, and it's been like, oh, you think you got help? No, good luck. So, I don't know. Maybe if you're able to access the resources you need to start healing, you can get that diagnosis, start working on it, and be like, I feel amazing. But, I feel like it's not that fast for most people. I don't know, though. But, yeah, I'm gonna get caught up with comments. But, yeah, I got, BPD is a motherfucker. Yes, we love allies. We love allies. Thank you, DB. DID Hatchery, the stigma is terrible. If we keep telling our stories honestly and undeterred, we will get recognized eventually for what we really are. Absolutely, and I think that's why. Things are starting to incline, like, the understanding of DID is inclining. It's not because, like, scientists have started to care more, it's because more people have started to speak out about their experiences. That's what's improving the state of things for everybody, and so much respect. DID Hatchery, we didn't choose this. It was built in us by other people. I didn't want DID. I don't know anyone who actually has DID who does want to have it. Exactly. Exactly. But like, oh my god, if it was something I was deciding to do, I would drop it in a hatch. It's not like, it's not something that benefits, I mean, it benefits my life previously. At this point, it's just pervasive. If I could both, chuck that trauma issue to the side and also not have to deal with constant pervasive dissociation, switches, and memory loss, I'd more than happily take it. And, like, if I was really attention-seeking, and I'm not saying that people that do this are, but if I was attention-seeking, don't you think I'd be like, hey, everybody, look at me, I got DID. Instead, I'm like, nobody look at me, I don't have DID, what? At least that's how I was. Now we're more accepting. We accept that we have DID, we know we do. I mean, we still have, like, our denial days, everybody does, but, it's still not something we want people to know or we want to have, or, like, it's so important to break down the stigma and to share it, but that's not to say, and I feel like people conflate the two. Because you're talking about it, it means that you're, like, got this, like, prideful, like, I love this about me. I don't know, like, you're allowed to share negative experiences. Like, I don't know if you know this, ignorant singlets of the world, but, like, sometimes people have bad things, but they want, like, others that relate to feel like they can relate. Like, it's not all good times, positive happiness around here. Even if it is presented in that way, it's still, like, it's still awareness, and there's so much more that you don't see behind the picture. So just looking at that and being like, this is the situation, and I know it. It's kind of ignorant. Just saying. At, like, no one in particular. As of yet, unnamed system. The BPD self-stigma is absolutely real, 110%. It's like, and it reinforces your symptoms, too, because as soon as you start, like, fearing that you're having your responses, it increases your responses, and it's like, great, because I don't enjoy how things are right now. It's like, even worse. And the more stress you get, the worse it gets as well. So it's like, we love it. We stand BPD here. K Brown's heading out. Bye, guys. This was such a fun live stream, and I am so grateful to meet other systems on here. You guys are awesome. See you in the next one. I hope we can do this really soon, because, like, I'm loving this. This is amazing. Honestly, we're probably going to have to go probably, like, 10 more minutes or so. We'll leave at, like, 3:30 to give me time to prepare for class. But this has been, like, a great time. It's been so nice. I've loved to, like, get to talk to everybody, and it's really just felt like we're all hanging out. So, yeah, definitely going to do one of these again soon. DID Hatchery, it was great to meet you guys. Have a nice day. The call BPD, a waste bucket diet. Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. As of yet, unnamed system. Shout out to the doctor that told me that he didn't think I have major depression, but rather a personality problem. That's cute. Okay. Maybe, like, the personality problem is a result of not feeling like you have enough energy because of the depression to express, like, true emotions, but, like, that's just my idea. Like, why would you say that? I don't know. It's like, if you're like, hey, I feel so, like, this way, maybe you should pay extra attention to what that person says that they're feeling, and not just be like, nuh-uh. No, especially because you said that you're wrong. Like, it does not make sense. That person has so much more experience with themselves than you do. Of course, not to say that self-diagnosis is always, like, right, or what you think is wrong will be wrong, not at all, but, like, if somebody has done their research and they're saying, I really think this is what's wrong with me, at least pay attention to what they have to say. Like, Anyway. DID Hedger, you will. My BPD was far worse in my 20s and early 30s. I promise you it settles down. It settles a bit over time, and that's good to hear. That's more than amazing to hear, because right now it feels like it controls a lot of my life, and it gets to the point where I'm just like, I don't know if it'll ever get better. I don't know. I don't have much hope for it. But hearing that really does give me some reassurance, so thank you. I don't know if Kate Brown has left yet, but bye. It was good seeing you. Thoughts on integration? Integration as in, like, so, like, a lot of people confuse, like, integration and, like, final fusion. We don't exactly, it's not currently our goal to, like, integrate into one. We kind of want to let it happen how it happens, and, let barriers heal as they do. But integration as in, bringing together dissociative barriers in a way that, heals the trauma, that allows us to communicate more clearly in between parts, and of course is naturally probably going to lead to the fusion and integration of said parts. That is absolutely one we want. That's like moving towards healing for DID systems. Integration's like the goal, like absolutely, and that's right now we're looking at functional multiplicity. We're not fixed on any one thing, but just currently like looking at our trauma and being like, could we exist as one with this? And this is with an unprocessed trauma mindset. This is with, we're not working to start going through this stuff right now. Looking at this big pile of trauma in front of us, I'm not like thinking, yeah, one day I'll be past this and I could heal and be one integrated identity. That'd be amazing if that happened. I just don't see it like right now as a possibility. So I think I would say that I have like positive opinions for sure, and it'd be great. It's not necessarily the goal because I don't know how possible it is for us. But definitely like integration and not exactly final fusion, but like integrating dissociative barriers more than our goal. Like absolutely what we want and what we're working towards every single day that we exist on this planet. DAD Hatchery says, I would love to integrate as of yet unnamed system. Responding to the BPD thing says that that's really good to hear, that it chills over time. And then DID Hatchery is reaffirming that that's going to, which is awesome. DID Hatchery, this is a great stream. Thank you for this. I'm so glad we came. I'm really glad you guys enjoyed it. I had a really great time, and it's been fantastic. And I am so glad I got to hang out with you guys, and I'm glad you guys came. And so it's been fantastic. It's been so much fun. I'm also really hyped up on coffee at this point, but we're loving it. Our symptoms have been terrible over the last 4 years of just hanging out. Yeah, it's for us too. Like over the last like 2-3 or so, I'd say it's like really peaked. But hearing that it does simmer down is really helpful for us. DID Hatchery, so much love to you. I know how hard it is. I never thought it would change. I didn't believe it at all, but it did. It is not really a problem for me anymore, and it was really ill back then, so it does get better. That's amazing to hear. Thank you. Thank you for reaffirming that. Before I go on another tangent, I think I'm going to cut off the stream here, because we're almost at that point. And I get distracted so easily, so this could easily turn into like 20 more minutes instead of like the 4 more that it's supposed to be. So thank you guys for coming to hang out, and thank you for the 300 subscribers, because I don't think I've said that, even though this is a 300 subscriber celebration. Thank you guys so much, and it was great to hang out with everybody. I really felt like I was just like chilling with the buds and just like vibing. So I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that you enjoyed it, at least, and I hope to see you guys some other time, or at the next one. As of yet unnamed system, this was great. Thanks for streaming. You're welcome. Thanks for coming. I agree. It's been amazing. I have no idea how to end the stream, so it's going to randomly end at some point. Okay, you have a good day. Congrats on 300. Thank you so much. GB, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, have a good day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.